So yesterday it came down that there's a new NCAA rule. Now, in college basketball, what I think most people know is that there's a new rule that was enacted for this past season, this past year, in which college basketball underclassmen could talk to and actually sign with an NBA agent while trying to make a decision as to whether or not they wanted to go to the pros. So this is 1 year in to these new rules in terms of timing. And yesterday, there's a new NCAA amendment, the criteria for agents angling to represent college basketball players who are just testing the draft waters. Here's the 3 prereqs you have to have. You have to have a bachelor's degree. You have to be certified by the NBAPA for at least 3 years. And you must pass in-person exam at the NCAA office in Indianapolis. Okay. So when you think about these 3 rules, immediately, I think a person who's been around a while, been around sports a while, understands bachelor's degree. All right, you went to college and you got a BA or you got a BS or whatever you got. It's fine. You must be certified by the NBAPA for at least 3 years. We don't want some guy who's just getting into the business, who hasn't gone to college, who's, AAU guy, now I want to represent my guy and be an agent advising players. We want people that are educated in the profession and educated in general. And you must pass an in-person exam at the NCAA office. Why is that? So you know what the NCAA rules are. Because the NBAPA rules are different from the NCAA rules. And this way you can't say, I didn't know. What was that at the end of G.I. Joe cartoons? And knowing is half the battle. So, of course, the most prominent NBA voice on social media is LeBron James, and he comes out and rips it and calls it the Rich Paul rule. I looked up the definition of someone, and I thought it was really, really interesting. Okay? So this is the definition of a syndrome. Okay? It's a personality syndrome. It's a long-term pattern of abnormal behavior characterized by exaggerating feelings of self-importance, an excessive need for admiration, and a lack of empathy. Those affected often spend so much time thinking about achieving power or success, or on their appearance, they often take advantage of people around them. Their behavior typically begins at early adulthood and occurs throughout a variety of social situations. Some of the signs or symptoms of such a personality disorder: grandiosity with expectations of superior treatment from other people. Didn't LeBron show up at a Laker game last year with a goblet of wine? Did happen. Fixation on fantasies of power, success, intelligence, attractiveness. Self-perception of being unique, superior, associated with the high-status people and institutions. Now, LeBron James is of high status, right? But the idea that he's unique, the idea that all these rules, all these things are about him, the need for continual admiration from others. What happened last week when David Griffin said, look, it was miserable to work with LeBron to try and win that championship. And, LeBron, even in his own words, he's not the animal he used to be about winning. Unwillingness to empathize with the feelings, wishes, and needs of other people. This is all narcissistic personality disorder. That's what it is. Like, hey, look, dude, LeBron, it ain't about you. It ain't about Rich Paul. I know you may feel like I'm the first athlete of my kind to force my way out of a situation. No, actually, you're a free agent. You signed elsewhere. It's happened before. Shaquille O'Neal went from the Magic to the Lakers. Right? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar forced his way from the Bucks to the Lakers. Heck, you look around the NBA, and this has happened for years, in which players have picked their destination and at times of power or at times of free agency. In fact, when LeBron James left Cleveland, he was a free agent. He didn't even force his way. He didn't do what others have done. Like, if anything, Paul George is more the trailblazer. Paul George signed a max contract to stay after shunning the Lakers, and a year later walked into Sam Presti's office and said, "I'm done here. Trade me to the Clippers right now." That's actually the first of its kind. Because usually what happens is you're in the last year of a contract, or maybe like Anthony Davis, the last 2 years of a contract, you've been to a place for a long time. LeBron James left 2 franchises, both when he was a free agent, and he was free to do so. Maybe signing the 1-year contract is the unique part, but that's about it. LeBron James thinks he invented barbershop conversation. He actually sued the University of Alabama because they had a barbershop talk TV show. Rob Parker works here at Fox Sports Radio. He co-hosts The Odd Couple, which starts at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, 4 o'clock Pacific. Did you know he had a barbershop talk show on television? I mean, heck, if we watch Coming to America, the most famous scenes are from the barbershop. There's actually a movie called The Barbershop. But LeBron James not only has a fixation of fantasies of power, success, intelligence, and attractiveness, but he's a self-perception of being unique, superior, high-status people. You say he doesn't lack empathy? Look, I don't think anyone should think that LeBron James talking about Taco Tuesday using a Mexican accent is any sort of really negative impact. I don't think it's discriminatory. I don't think it's racist. It's not a big deal. I don't actually care. But what you should at least consider is imagine if it was Falafel Wednesday and he talked like somebody who was Jewish, right? Imagine if it was Noodle Wednesday and they talk like somebody who was Asian. Or if I did that exact same voice, how would you feel about it? How would you feel about it? Like, look, we took a poo off of The Simpsons because it was deemed to be an offensive stereotype of Indian people that they would work and talk and own their own Quickie Mart. Right? But LeBron James thinks that he's superior, can't empathize with others, doesn't see that the exact same thing he spends most of his social media work working against, he's actually performing himself. Because he has narcissistic personality disorder. Just take a breath. Look at it for what it is. It's the NCAA going like, hey, here's a low bar. Just have a degree, be a legit agent for a couple years, come in and meet with us and pass the test. You know the NCAA rules. And you can go and sign NCAA players and talk with them about the possibility of them leaving for the NBA. Rich Paul has lawyers that work for him. The fact that Rich Paul doesn't have a bachelor's degree should be a warning sign. I want my agent to not just have a bachelor's degree, I want him a master's degree and a law degree. And the idea that LeBron James thinks this is about him, that NBA teams want to change player movement is about him, that barbershop talk is about him, is classic narcissistic behavior. And some of that is what's allowed him to be an incredible athlete and have an incredible impact on media, social media, and the places in which he's played. But dude, this ain't about Rich Paul. Hi, I'm Doug Gottlieb from Fox Sports Radio, and you need to subscribe to the Fox Sports Radio YouTube channel where you can hear and see me. Why not? Plus everybody else who's awesome here in Fox Sports Radio.